What's my view? Oh, I don't have. Got to turn it on so I can show non-video participants. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's time to work and play. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, hell, I just put a note taker in there. It's about to be booted.
All right.
Helen's not paying attention today. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
How are we all doing this morning? Chat, that's something I need to do.
Doing great. I am still making breakfast, so I'm going to mute myself and turn off the video and
Breakfast?
listen.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's way
Yeah,
late. It's too early for
sure.
breakfast. Even I have I'm a morning person and I have my standards. I do not have breakfast before 6 a.m.
But is that coffee you're drinking?
No, this is lemon and ginger tea with apple.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Excellent choice for the time of day it is for you.
Yes, I don't want the caffeine. I want to go back to bed after this.
Excellent.
You
I
got
actually
it.
have the day off work today because of Juneteenth. So
Oh,
Oh,
in the States, and it's very rare for me to get a Saturday in New Zealand off. And I was to my parents, I got tomorrow off. Can we go to the markets? And they're like, it's got rain scheduled. I'm like, crap. And I go to make my tea, and the rain's pelting down against the windows, and I'm like, double crap. So, but I'm going to go spend the day with my parents anyway. My brother and sister-in-law are coming up, so get
Right
rid of
on.
a whole bunch of T-shirts to my brother today that are like swimming on me.
Yeah. Okay, somebody's got
Someone in the background,
something going
let
on
me
in the background.
turn
like a
off.
male voice I can hear in the background.
All right, everyone. Oh, look at there. There's Michelle. Hello. Hello.
I will
Well,
tell you what's really scary is you're letting people in and you can't see them coming up on the screen because they don't have their cameras on, because I had my views set to only those with videos on.
I don't know what their deal is with mine. It's like on certain people when I come into their Zoom rooms, my video won't be on, and others it just
Yep,
automatically is on.
yep. I get that too. And then there's one, every time I go on Peggy's Zoom, it tells me I have to pick my audio. What microphone am I using? It's the weirdest thing. It always comes up with a set of headphones, and I got to go change it to being a microphone. It's the weirdest thing. Good morning, Dean.
So
Good morning, Helen. Good morning, everybody.
good morning. Good morning. All righty. We're starting a couple of minutes late. I got I was trying to accomplish a bunch of things just before the call. Of course I was. It's been a super exciting week. Actually, it's been a super exciting couple of weeks, including last week. So, first of all, welcome to Open Office Hour. Ask us anything about AI with Terza Ekholm and Helen Brahms. We are so delighted that you're here. Oh, hang on a second. I've got to. All right. Sorry, I forgot to mute my watch. Um, um,
I figured that's
so
what you were doing, so I'm now muting my phones.
there you go. There you
All
go.
right.
I have a little bit to say about Apple devices a little bit later, but for now, welcome. Welcome. Today is what it is. It is June 19. It's June 19th in the States. It is a holiday, and so many people are taking it off or celebrating or just taking it off. And but I'm here doing, we're here, all of us are here doing Open Office Hour, and I'm thrilled to have all of you. And if you are celebrating by not being on screen, kudos to you, and you'll be able to watch this later on YouTube. So it's available to you either way. So there's all kinds of exciting news happening, but first of all, I would like to introduce my co-host and business partner, Helen Brahms. She is an amazing genealogist. She started going down my family tree and revealed to me a couple of family secrets I hadn't known about. So this is all really, this is all super cool. I'm very excited. Yes, and that's the thing. Working with Helen, she just does this with such glee, and so, and then she'll even write a song for your family history. So it's just super exciting. Anyway, I'll stop talking so she can talk and ask everybody what they've been doing with AI this week.
Well, kia ora, everyone from Waikanae Beach in New Zealand. It is currently dark outside. It's 4 a.m. in the morning, and it is raining. which I was hoping it wouldn't be since it's market day, but I don't get to go to the markets because it's raining. But anyway, we are here today, and I'm super excited to be here with everybody. And so, what are you using AI for? Blah, 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 blah. What are you using AI for this week? This week, I've just been in ChatGPT and Notebook LM, and I'm starting to get back into Marblism again. I opened it. That was as far as I got with it, as I opened it and saw what I needed to do. But we'll be getting back into that. In fact, now that I have a 3-day weekend, I'm sort of like, yay, I can actually do more. Although I've got my mastermind group tomorrow, so that's a 2 a.m. start. I got to get up at 2 a.m. to get online by 3. So, okay, so let's start. Nancy, what did you use AI for this week?
I had a nice conversation with ChatGPT on the fact that things don't seem to be very consistent. And Chat responded back to me, well, you keep asking for content, but you don't ever list what you want the goal to be. You don't put what you want the content to ultimately be doing. And we go back and forth. So he actually I always call it a he, created a marketing strategy playbook for my studio.
Awesome.
And I have it
like
printed
that. What do you
out
want
so I
the
can
goal
actually
to be?
read it to see if we're missing anything.
Excellent. That's awesome. I love that fact that it asks, well, you don't give us what the end goal's meant to be. I like that.
And, yeah. Well, part of what I asked is, what am I not asking correctly? And I think that's where I've had the most problem, is knowing what to properly tell or ask. And so I end up going down lots of rabbit holes. But we were really fine tuning quite a bit, and I got several things on the website fixed that we've struggled with. And I'm not totally sure it had one thing to do with the other. But I also said to Chat that, you've grown so much faster than I can. Please tell me what new features you have that I should be utilizing and taking advantage of.
Awesome. That's great. That's also, I love that. I like getting it to review itself. Like if it gives you like a plan or a post or something like that, go rate this out of 10 for engagement. And go, well, I give it a 7.5 out of 10 for engagement. I said, what can we do to make it a 10 out of 10? So I have it
Very
rate
good.
itself. Yeah.
I like that.
It's kind of fun and interesting to see what it comes back with. But I like that idea that, what do you want the goal to be? And I'm like sitting here thinking, do I give it goals? And I'm like, sometimes I say, this is my vision. This is what I see it as. Well, what do we need to do to get there? So I do kind of give it goals in a way. But that's awesome. Love that. Thank you for sharing. Michelle.
Yeah, I don't remember whether I brought this up last week because I don't actually remember which day I did it on. It might have been Friday afternoon after this was over. Anyway, one thing I've done is I had a bunch of things that I really wanted to accomplish and I still wasn't making headway with. And so I went into ChatGPT and said, look, this is like all the things that I want to do, and kind of the whys, and prompted it to like with what I wanted it to help me with. And in a short order, wound up really getting clear on like what my core values were, which wasn't my initial intention, but at the same time being able to go and take the things that I was having resistance on and to be able to reframe them in a way against my core values, so that things that I don't want to take action on, now I have a whole new perspective of how to look at them that excite me.
So all that I don't want to stuff you're now excited about.
A lot of it, yeah. Like things
Awesome.
like, doing lead generation type of things and other stuff. And so it's like, now I have a way to look at things, instead of it being like, oh, look, I got to do this and that, or go do whatever on LinkedIn or you name it. It's like, I get to look at it from the perspective of like, I wanted to be visible. I wanted connection. I wanted all these other things, and tapping into many of what my core values were. And it was like, then all of a sudden it was like, I could see it in a whole different light, that it's like, oh, and then it's like, oh, well, how can I just meet somebody interesting today, or other types of things, and like forward what is most important to me and lights me up versus what I feel is like drudgery. So that was one key thing I did, which was really cool. And then I got asked on Monday night, like after 10 p.m., like, hey, can you teach tomorrow at another group I belong
Nothing
to?
like last minute.
That'd be like last minute. Exactly. Another mastermind kind of group that I'm in is a very small one. And I was like, okay. So I decided to teach on what I had just done for myself with that process. And anyway, so I had ChatGPT to help me put together a quick outline because I had literally under 2 hours to put it together and deliver it.
Wow. That's awesome. I love that.
So
yeah, one of the things I did with my core values is one of the GPTs I created for my core values. I uploaded every single personality test that I had done that I still had records of. So my strengths, my MBTI, whatever the other ones were, Enigma, I think it's called.
yeah, I know which one. Enneagram
Yeah.
or there's
Yeah.
different one.
There's one with like a body in it. It has all these different.
Human design.
Human design.
Yeah, that's the one. That I did that one too. So all of the ones that I had the results for, I uploaded them into my core value thing as well. So, and I said, whenever I write anything or do anything, you are to take all of this into account.
Well, that's cool. I should do that.
And add sparkle. Yes, I always tell it that it was my most used phrase in 2025 was add more sparkle. Apparently, so I didn't count. But anyway, that's awesome, Michelle. And everybody received your course very well.
Yeah, it was a very small number of people there, only 6, but the person who was leading it, he wants me to teach it again. He gave me some good feedback because it was like I hadn't done any kind of presentation like that in a long time. So there was a couple things about he was like, you really know your stuff and everything, so just kind of like own it. That wasn't his exact phrase, but like that's more awesome. Or less. But he said he wanted me to do it again in a few weeks. And then 2 people in the small group of 6 like really just lit up and like were firing into the chat like all these like awesome and this and that, and then both of them just said like put their hands up like they wanted to volunteer to walk through the process and stuff with me and during the presentation. So
that's awesome. I love that. I love when you can engage people, and it's very interesting when you rephrase something or look at it from a different perspective, how much excitement you can get. Like people will turn around and they'll hear people talking about something and go, well, I can't do that for my business. Change it to how can I make that work for my business? And now all of a sudden you've got a completely different way of looking at things and you start getting excited about things. And I love that. I love that you've reframed things into a way that you can get excited about. Congratulations.
And it was really, because I was like, it's something that I do periodically. And it's like, I knew many of those same core values that it actually came up with the exact same thing, almost exact wording, and sometimes exact wording as I had for it without me even prompting it with that, because it knows enough about me overall from things over the last couple of years. And so it was like so interesting that it was like, wow. And it was like, the way it just reframed what I had before thought of it as, like networking, lead generation, prospecting,
lead generation.
kind of words, which to me, like often will be like, I have to go either do grunt work or I have to go do things that make me feel uncomfortable in a way, like I'm going to be being pushy or kind of slimy or like interrupting people or whatever it might be, even though like, okay, people do it to me all the time, but it's like, but it was like when we looked at it from the other way of visibility and opportunity and connection and conversation and things of that sort, everything just started shifting, because then I could just see it as a completely different thing than what I would tend to think of it as, is just drudgery work.
And now you're excited about drudgery work.
Yeah, as long as I put it in the right words.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Well, congratulations. I love
language
that.
is everything, right? It's like
language is definitely everything.
It's like the exact same work. Nothing changes about the work. The only thing that changes is how I look at it.
Right, when I used to coach gymnastics and kids would tell me, I can't do that. And I go, there's no such word. And they're like, yes, there is. And I said, you bring me a dictionary that has the word can't in it, and then we'll have a conversation. But until then, get up there and get it done. Yeah. That word does not exist in this gymnasium. It was surprising then how the kids would suddenly think, oh, okay, and how they switched their way of thinking, and all of a sudden they were able to do whatever the move was. So yeah, that language is very, very important. So congratulations on that. Gary, up to you. What are you up to this week?
Haven't been super creative on innovating with AI, but I'm just still writing my book. And I ran into a practical limitation, so that's what I'm going to be sharing. I got Pro Plan on Claude, and I'm going through, and I hadn't even worked. I'd worked about 4 hours just intensively on Claude, and it ran out of credits for the day, and I was kind of frustrated. So that day, I moved everything over to ChatGPT and just continued to work. And I've got paid subscriptions for both, and I've never run out of credits on ChatGPT doing the same level of activity. So I'm a little frustrated with Claude. But then I segregated. I told Claude, okay, you've got this other engine over here. Before I just told Claude, hey, I'm checking, the other AI looked at what you did and it had this comment. And so I was using it that way. But then I segregate where I was the arbiter of who got what. Then I set it up, Claude. I said, okay, you don't have the heavy lifting, so I'm going to use ChatGPT for heavy lifting. So I want you to organize the work that I'm going to send to ChatGPT and then review it when I come back. And so that actually worked very well. And it seems to work. I mean, I like what you said a little earlier about asking the LLM to review its work, but I find I seem to get sharper results when I go cross LLMs, and plus it tends to choke up the memory of the task less, because if you're using the same chat to review itself, analyze it, and do all that other stuff, it tends to get too much context, and it eventually slows down. You have to switch to a new one. So that's another reason I like to take the output from one, take it over to another LLM, or maybe you could just do another chat, but it keeps it free from that memory clog. But
Yeah, sorry.
I did get very good results from instructing Claude to use the chat as a resource, and then it managed that for me. I didn't have to manage it myself.
Yeah, when I ask it to review itself, I take whatever it's given me and I put it into a new chat and say, please review this for engagement. So I
That
never
makes
do it in
sense.
the same thread because I don't
Makes
want it
sense.
going, oh, yeah, I just wrote that. But
Yeah,
so I put it
that's
into a new
really
chat.
good.
Yeah, so it's good. Awesome. I love that. Oh, anybody else with how they've used ChatGPT this week? No?
Well, I've just been building Claude. So I've
You've
delved
been building
into,
Claude?
well, put it
Or
this
you've
way.
had Claude build stuff
There's
for
some
you?
setup required. I don't know anything about coding. And I think it was 4 or 5 hours. It would have taken anybody like 1 hour maybe. But anyway, I've got Claude Code completely set up and using Visual Studio Code and these nodes and everything I had to download for it, and Git Bash and all that. So Claude Code is all set up, but my Claude Cowork is the Achilles heel right now. So I'm going to work on getting the next couple of days getting Claude Cowork and the what do they call it? The global MD file and the project
Oh,
MD files all specific. So
that's
that's been
awesome.
kind of a struggle.
That's awesome. I love that. Emmeline, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, it's not been a good week for me. I have really struggled with chat this week, and I finally gave up. I've been working on some stuff, and it just never could quite help me get to where I wanted to be. So I have gotten in contact with a VA that has helped me before previously. And so now we're working together to pull everything together. So, yeah, the frustration got to the point that I just threw my hands up and I said, I need to go to something else. So then something else is dealing with my health situation and took one step forward and five back. And so my life is in total turmoil right now. And so looks like I'm going to have to travel back to the Virgin Islands and wait it out again, and then have to fly back here at the cost of thousands of dollars because the healthcare system can't get their shit together. So anyway, I don't need to talk anymore about that, but so hopefully next week will get better.
Just do something fun on ChatGPT. Just go in and ask it to make you laugh.
Make me
And you will
laugh.
see
Yeah.
the weirdest, craziest jokes come up that make absolutely no sense whatsoever, that you can do nothing but laugh. And then I keep telling it, I go, no, I'm not even cracking a smile on this one.
Yeah, but
I did that one time, and it was highly amusing. Just something random. Just do something random in there that'll make you laugh.
Well, I can get plenty of laughs just seeing all the memes on Facebook right now. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
But
There's
sometimes
enough-
just go into ChatGPT and give it a random topic to talk about and see what it comes up with.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Thanks for the suggestion.
Well, thoughts and prayers are with you for the health stuffs, and hopefully it'll get sorted soon. So I wanted to show you really quickly. This is one of the things that I use with ChatGPT for is I take an image. So this is a baptismal record of a family tree that I'm researching right now from 1842. No, hang on. I got the wrong year. Yeah, somewhere around there. It's in the
Beautiful.
1840s. Yeah, so it takes
handwriting.
this and it makes it readable for me. And I tell it and I give it the image and I say, please translate. And so we translate it. And so it will go and transcribe it for me. So I transcribe it, not translate, because it is all in English. And then sometimes it comes back like it had, the name it had was Joseph, Jeremiah, and then it had broadband. I kid you not. It says broadband on here. And this is
what
from 1840.
LLM do you use, Helen?
ChatGPT. I just go into ChatGPT and go, can you please transcribe this image? And I can't remember what it came back with broadband. And I said, that does not look like this particular word. And I said, it looks like it's got broad something on the end. And it came back with broadband. B-R-B-A-N-T. Not a D, a T on the end. And so yeah, we finally got that. So it does misread at times, and you do have to check the what it comes back for the transcription. It goes, oh, you are so right. That does not look like that, and it came up with some really long word with S's in it, and I'm like, there are no S's in that. So
At least it knows cursive handwriting.
exactly, that is my biggest thing, because sometimes now this one is not too bad. This is English cursive handwriting. There's a whole book on deciphering American handwriting, which I think I have on my shelf there somewhere. But it's like a tall book, so it's like an 8x11 book. And that thing going through that with the different eras, like the 1600s, the 1700s, the 1800s, the 1900s, and all that sort of stuff. It's very interesting because in some cases, if you have like a double S, it would write the small s, and then it puts like a small f next to it, and it's a double S. And so you've got to know how to read that. And it does look like a small f. Go figure. So you have to decipher, is it double S or is it SF? So you have to decipher that. But this one's not too bad to read, but there was just a little few words in there that I couldn't quite get with overlaps and that, so that helps translate that, and it takes so much quicker than me sitting down trying to transcribe the thing. So yeah, this is the biggest use I'm using it for in genealogy right now, is helping me decipher things, because it does it in seconds, whereas it would take me minutes, maybe hours, depending on the handwriting. Okay, if there's nobody else that's done their stuff with ChatGPT this week, we're going to hand it over to Terza, because she's got a whole bunch of really cool stuff to talk to us about today. Over to you, Terza.
All right, thank you. Man, you guys are doing such exciting stuff. I was taking notes about what you're doing, so yeah, I am so thrilled with what's happening in our community, and look forward to growing it even further. And on that note, so I go every Monday morning to a book club here in town. There's just 5 or 6 of us, and we're reading some hopefully transformational business book each time. This time we're reading. It's by Richard Branson. I think it's The Virgin Way. Anyway, I don't have it next to me. Otherwise, I would just refer to it. It's the one
That's
where he's
an awesome book.
He's got pink shorts on the cover of this one. But one of the people in that book club, he is as much into, if not more, into AI than I am. He actually is a broker for an auto broker. That's what he's been doing for many years. But he's so excited because he signed up to be a developer for Apple. Anybody can do that. I didn't do it because I don't need yet another thing on my plate. But the reason he's excited is because Apple last week or the week before it announced its Siri AI. Now, to give it a little bit of context, it had announced this 2 years ago and then got slammed because it would never give Apple wouldn't give a a ship date, and maybe rightfully so, but that made a lot of people very upset. So this time, when they announced, oh, this embedded Siri AI, you're going to love it, the market kind of went, yeah, sure. But as it turns out, my friend is a developer for them, and beyond, I did watch it on their announcement, and it was super exciting. But he says he's in the kind of the final rounds of beta testing, and he says it does deliver exactly what it promises. So the short version is you will basically have an LLM right there on your phone, embedded with everything that Apple does, and Siri suddenly becomes useful to the point where for example, if I said something like, my granddaughter has a birthday coming up, and I can't quite remember her favorite ice cream, and it would search all of my files that are on my phone, and it would come back with, if it could figure out just enough from that, because remember earlier in our conversation, Nancy and Michelle and others and Gary were talking a little bit about context. So if it can't figure it out, then it would probably say something like, well, you have 6 granddaughters. Which one do you mean? But mostly, it probably would have figured it out because, yes, all my granddaughters love ice cream. But there's one in particular, and it's not that she has a favorite flavor of ice cream. Her birthday's in June, context, and she loves sprinkles on her ice cream no matter what it is. And it probably would have told me that. Things like, my daughter-in-law makes this fantastic potato salad. We're thinking of doing something for the 4th of July. Could you set up a calendar event and invite all my family members to my 4th of July barbecue at our house? And instead of going and inviting all of my family members around the world, really they're in the US, but a couple in Canada, it would have just invited the local ones. It would have known that. It would have figured that out based on it. So there'll be more unrolling as we go along. I'm excited for what it's going to offer. A note of caution from my friend, which is when you upgrade to iOS 27, which is what it will be called, probably September, you won't get Siri AI right away because it's going to take the time, with your permission, of course, that's the first thing, to go through your phone and index everything that's on there, including the apps you use and the apps you don't use and what files and thing. Yeah, we'll come back to that in a second, Todd. That's super exciting. And then when it's done a lot of that work, then it will give you access to the new Siri AI. Todd just put into the chat that ChatGPT is looking to kill app icons. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Well, I'll ask you more about that in a second. Siri will probably help you engage with some of the apps that are on your phone. The thing to note is it's not completely giving you complete privacy, so that would be an illusion. But if it can answer your question, whatever you ask, based on what's already in your phone, it will do that. If it needs more, it will, again, I think you have to set up permissions, but it will go out to Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude, and go get the information off the web and contact yet another LLM for help on that. So privacy is not complete, so don't think that, but as much as possible, it will stick to your own data. So I love Helen's question. Will Siri understand the Kiwi accent? That's a good question. I love that. I have no idea,
Well, it's
Helen.
been through so many versions and it still doesn't understand a Kiwi accent. So if they're doing this big, huge launch on it with the AI things and that, it needs to understand the Kiwi accent. Because asking for the deck plans on a ship and getting told that that's inappropriate, I'm out.
I totally agree. It'll probably tell you you'll have to type it. I don't know what it'll do. Yep, you may
I'm
be
just
out.
using voice. I'm not sitting there going to type stuff in. If I'm using something like Siri, I want to be able to use my voice. If it can't understand, it comes up with all sorts of weird answers, and I just tell it that's incorrect, and it goes and tries again, and I'm just like, we're out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't spoken to Siri in about 2 years.
So Peggy writes, Siri tells me it has no capability to get Google Maps to speak the directions. It tells me it can't call people at this time. Ugh. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Peggy. That's a bummer. I agree with you, and I get annoyed with it too when it it makes what I think are obvious mistakes. So hopefully it will be better for you. And Helen, I cannot promise a Kiwi accent. So, but I think there's going to be some interesting business applications for people as this rolls out. So I'm super excited about that. It won't be perfect. None of them are. And I've been mainly spending this week with Claude and Claude Cowork. So I now have an automation. I didn't write it, by the way. I stole it, or it was freely given, actually, from someone else in my mastermind group. What it does is it does specific cold emails to my local business area based on what it is I'm looking for. And it was super easy to set up, and kind of like Dean, it's been it does work for number one, but I've also had to fine tune it. You guys may have known this. I never knew this. If you're starting with a fresh email address, and maybe even if you're starting to do cold emails from your existing one, there are certain records you need in your domain that I never knew about. I could have asked Claude Cowork to do it, but I wanted to do it myself, so I asked Claude to walk me through the steps, added those in, and it turns out you need to warm up your email address. Oh, and that's the second point is Claude suggested, and this mirrored exactly what John Logar told us too. If you're going to do cold emailing, don't do it directly from your primary domain. In other words, I should not send cold emails from Terza@zanakin.com. That's my primary domain, because if anybody reports me for spamming, or Google highlights me for spamming, they can just nix the domain and poof. Whatever you had it's too bad, it's gone. So you make a secondary domain, and I wasn't even clear on that, and Claude walked me through that. So now I have a secondary domain. If that gets flagged as a spammer, which I hope it won't, because I'm doing serious research about who I'm not sending thousands, I'm sending 10 a day to reach out to businesses. Yeah, Dean, that's exactly the subdomain. So I'm totally cool with that. The reason for that is if anybody flags me for any reason, even if I'm not spamming them, then I can start another subdomain under the one I already have. So, my subdomain is getzanakin.com.
Okay. So I was just asking that question, Teresa, because I was wondering, if you use a subdomain, does that then affect the other domain? I mean, your domain. Like, do you need literally a second domain, like something that's not Zanakin?
That would be another way to do it, actually. But no, I just did it as a subdomain. So it is a subdomain under Zanakin.
So that still would protect you. Okay.
Yeah. It's not foolproof. It's probably a bit like I've had a couple of my friends, my business friends lately, or people I've seen on that I follow on Facebook, get put into Facebook jail. And Facebook isn't always very clear about why that is either. But Facebook, I got mad at Facebook Messenger, because it said um, one of its games or games that's on its system or whatever suddenly entered my Facebook Messenger chat. And I complained to Meta. I said, I don't want to play games. I don't even want to be invited to play games. And it said, well, for each individual game, you can go in and turn it off. Really? So, just be, yeah, I agree. Exactly, Nancy. That's really annoying. However, I haven't implemented it yet, but I asked ChatGPT as kind of a similar question. I'm tired of LinkedIn inviting me to play games. I don't want to play games. I'm not on LinkedIn for games. I like to play games, but on my own time, right? So ChatGPT says, well, in fact, ChatGPT said, unlike Meta, LinkedIn has this established method if you want to take your name off those things, all of them. So I will be happy to share it after I go and implement it. So what I talked about from, Sarah, Facebook asking me for a code.
Yeah, they're saying that if I look at Facebook from the homepage and I want to click on the upper right hand corner where you can click Messenger,
Yeah.
it's kind of got that lightning strike thing. When I click that, it says if I want to see my Messenger, I have to put a code in, and if I don't have the code, I need to get a new code. And if I get a new code, it's going to erase everybody will be in my Messenger, but it will erase my history. And so I have a conflict like, do I really need my history because I have a tendency to keep everything, or does it just not matter? It'll keep the history from like today if I decided to do that. So
I recommend to ask ChatGPT before you do that. It may or may not be legit.
Okay.
There's a lot of weird stuff out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have always ignored the codes. When it asks me for codes, I just ignore it. I can't remember how I get around it. When it comes up, I figure it out. Because I want to keep my history. Because there's often times when I'm in something on a website or in another app, like I could be in TikTok or Instagram or something like that I like something. And so I send it to myself in Facebook Messenger.
Right.
And then I go back later on to pull it up. Because I've got some really cool recipes in there. So I don't want to lose those.
I agree. That's why I haven't done the code yet. So
yeah.
Okay.
I just ignore any requests for any codes because I don't know if it's actually coming from Facebook or somebody's hacked something somewhere. And change your password often.
Okay.
Before we, I want to go back and answer Todd's question, but before we do that, because I want to wrap up this this topic, Dean mentioned it's good to get A2P certified to avoid being flagged as spam. Do you mind saying a little bit more about that, Dean?
Yeah, so I set up the my subdomain for sending out cold emails and so forth. And as I mentioned in the group before, I have Go High Level. So everything you do with Go High Level, they're very compliant oriented. They want to make sure that whatever you set up is you're going to be able to maintain your integrity and you don't if you get flagged as spam, of course, you'll ruin that domain and you'll have to get a whole nother one, whatever. So they sort of, if you're going to do email campaigns and so forth, they sort of basically told me I had to go through the A2P certification. And it's basically, it just makes you compliant. What it does is when you get that A2P certification, you're going to have to, on your website and all your texts and so forth that you send out and your emails, you're going to have to provide a couple of opt-out boxes, or I should say opt-in. And it says by filling out this form or by receiving this email, I agree to receive marketing messages and non-marketing messages from Zanica Studios, that type of thing. So and then through the certification process, they had to go through my website. They had to make sure that I had the privacy policy and all these other things in place, and any forms that I had were compliant with that, for people to check a box to opt in. And you cannot require them to give you your phone number and that type of thing. So I have a PDF that explains it really well, better than I. And it's just a good, I mean, if you're sending out 10 emails and it's people in your CRM that you already know, I don't think you have to worry about this. But if you're planning on doing a marketing campaign, however modest, even if it's for 50 people, then you really want to go through the steps to get the certification and make sure all your emails are going out with all this, and even your texts. So what's great about it is um, when you send out all your texts and everything, and they have these opt-in or opt-out check boxes, you will not get flagged as spam by any wireless carrier or email you know um, supported infrastructure. So
Okay.
it's a good, but like I said, if you're just, I have, I don't know, 500 people in my CRM in real estate right now. So that's at a level where if I send out 500 emails, I want to make sure that I'm not getting flagged as spam.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sarah asks, where do you find the A2P certification? Is it on GHL?
There, you can, I might be conducted by the FCC, but you could just Google it. A2P, sort of, I don't know if certification is the correct terminology for it. Um,
Okay.
let
All
me
right.
see, look here.
All right. While you're looking that up, Dean, Todd asked from earlier in the conversation, I think about Siri AI, if it was an off-the-shelf agent or an agent ready to go, or agents ready to go. I don't know specifically about agents themselves, Todd. This is just Apple's version of its own AI version that it's bundling in with Siri. So it's remaking Siri altogether and recasting it as an AI. Agents I don't know about. Apple could be doing that, but I don't know anything about it. So, all right. I have a hard stop today at 11 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead. If Dean comes up with the information, go ahead and post it in the chat. I want to talk a little bit about Marblism. For those who don't know, Marblism is an AI platform, basically. Currently, it has 6 separate AI agents that do specific functions each, and they are actually, as they put in their Facebook group, interning 2 new employees, so they're expanding their functionality. And I don't remember what they're slated to do. I'll have to go back and report on that next time. But they have added some exciting new functionality to Stan. As you may recall, Stan has, up until now, has had the ability to do research for you and outreach for you on LinkedIn based on very specific parameters that you gave him. And it would even, you could give it a workflow where you had it, make the ask for the introduction and then send an initial email. And I don't know how many emails down it would go, but basically you don't want it to go to, you didn't want Stan to do too many anyway because you want to jump in and have the conversation yourself. Anyway, that was okay, but it was very limited. And what they've given Stan now is the ability to do research on the entire web. So If you wanted to connect to Sarah because Sarah was in your target market, you could say, please do some research on Sarah, and it would say Sarah has got a YouTube channel and a newsletter, and this is what she does. And would you like to get in touch with her? So this actually does dovetail into this level of cold outreach. So again, we're going to have even more abilities than we've ever had, not just with Stan, but just AI in general. Be super careful and don't first of all, don't spam people. I don't like it, and I'm sure people we contact, the people we want to do business with, don't like it either. So figure out what it is for you. But for me, a couple of pings just to see if somebody's interested seems reasonable enough, provided I'm not sending out dozens and hundreds of them. And besides that, I don't want to do business with dozens and hundreds of people. I'm not selling. I'm not selling a one-time deal. I want to build relationships. So here, Dean posted in the chat. Thank you very much, Dean. A amazing A2P certification resource.
So let me tell you about this. First of all, I misspoke. Because I did my SMS texting and I did my email subdomains and emailing campaigns sort of all at the same time. Perhaps I got it mixed up. The A2P refers specifically to messaging, SMS, and MMS messages. Okay. So I apologize about that. But let me just, the link you guys need to save, the link I put in there is nothing short of amazing. I'll give you an example. For one of my side businesses in my corporation, it took me, my new one, it took me 3 days to get A2P certified. But for my mortgage email, I'm sorry, my mortgage website and SMS, it took me 3.5 weeks. And the hoops I had to jump through to make, and my mortgage website's been established for several years, but I had to jump through all these compliance. They reviewed my privacy statement and all these other things on my website. I had to make so many changes, and it took me almost 3 weeks to get that certification for my mortgage. This A2P certification wizard will have it done in hours. It's going to fill in forms for you and do all kinds of things for you. This is one of the private groups I belong to. The leader of that group found this and shared it with us in the group. So the A2P Wizard is that information is worth its weight in gold. After I spent 3 weeks trying to get my.
So, Dean, is that wizard the second link you put in or the first link?
It's the first one. You just
Oh,
go
it's the
there
first one. Okay.
and it'll take you right to it. But it does 90% of all the work for you, and it's free, which is amazing. When you do go to get certified, I think you pay the government entity like $23 and something. It's a one-time fee. It's not an annual fee.
So I will include that in my email, but for those who are listening, because you can't see the chat later, it is https A2, the number 2, P, wizard.com. But it will be in my email and the YouTube description. So Peggy asks, can Stan connect inside like LinkedIn or other social media so it doesn't, it isn't going to be cold and just asking for a connection? I'm not sure. I think it's still really a cold connection request. It would be like if I discovered Peggy had a sister and and I liked what she was doing in business, and I said, "Hey, let's be friends," and the person says, "Who are you?" So that would be a cold connection request, no matter how, even if we didn't both know Peggy. So. All right, let's see. Let me take you over to, so I have been setting up Marblism. Helen said she was getting restarted with again. It's like anything else. There's so many things to do and try, and then I forget or go on to something else. So let's go. Oh, hang on. Let me pull it up in my. Give me a moment. And all right. Just real quickly, if you don't know, if you haven't heard of Marblism yet, and what I'm planning to do is just do some more in-depth videos and just make them available on my YouTube channel, rather than try to cover them necessarily in here, although I'm always happy to answer questions. But this is Marblism. These are their AI employees. Eva, the executive assistant, which her scope has also now been expanded. But she can manage your email box. She can actually manage multiple email boxes, is my understanding, but I haven't tried it yet. And basically, she can draft replies for you, but she does not send them. You still need to go in and read them, read those drafts and decide for yourself. She can set appointments up on your calendar based on what they say. So if you give her access to your calendar, that's available as well. Those are both Google's and Outlook. Google and Outlook. Sunny still is by far my favorite. Sunny will create and schedule or post directly to your social media platforms, which I find a super boon. So it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X. Hold on, there's more. Threads and Pinterest. And I don't know if there's going to be more in the works. He will, by the way, suggest scripts for you, so you can create videos for your YouTube channel or TikTok, for example. But he can't post directly there. So super useful. And for any of these, by the way, if you give them your information about your business, like your ideal client profile, well, back to what Nancy said earlier, what your goals are, what other relevant links, your style. So if you don't like this color scheme at all, you just say that, no, I'd like it to be more minimalist, muted, or whatever it is your style is. If you give them that information and you keep tweaking them, it will do that. If you don't like Sunny will be nicely generic unless you give him specific feedback about the way you want to set it up. Stan does lead generation, as I mentioned. He's now been given permission or the leeway to go beyond LinkedIn. So I'll talk more about that as in future videos. Penny is still the super amazing SEO and blog and article writing expert. Even though sometimes I have to copy and paste the stuff that she writes for me, I still think it's top notch. And then Rachel, I think, has also been given additional functionality. She will take your person's calls and either route them directly to you or at least capture a summary of what they want. And I think she also has the ability, if you give her access to your calendar, to schedule a meeting. And then Linda's a legal assistant. Again, like any of these, she does super work. She will highlight, if you give her a bunch of contracts and say, let me know if there's either any mistakes or things I need to know about this, she will do that. So that part is good. However, you still need to run your things by a real, actual lawyer. As we talked about, Helen mentioned last week, there is a great legal expert named Harvey, but there have already been several lawyers disbarred because they didn't go back and research what they were told. So that wasn't Linda, by the way. It was ChatGPT, but the same thing applies. And then it just repeats. And then there's 2 more coming. So as these roll out, I will be delighted to. I will go and create some introductory videos and put them out on the YouTube channel, and then they'll just be available for anyone. So I hope that helps. It's not as in depth as I wanted to go, but I'm realizing the value of having our community on these calls, and so I am so thrilled with that. But I will start to move my instructional videos to YouTube, and I am considering creating a community where, like an online community that you can just come in and access them whenever you want. So.
Terza, we have a couple of quick questions in the chat. Todd wants to know, are AI employee names fixed?
Yes.
And then Dean wants to know, can Rachel, the receptionist, record callers' information for your CRM?
She can record it, but unless so far they have not been able to connect to CRM, like Go High Level. So you still have to copy that information yourself into a CRM. They are talking behind the scenes about creating their own CRM. We'll see how that develops. But a lot of us already use Go High Level, so I don't know why we'd want to switch, but we'll see what they do.
And then one last question. It can post directly to social media sites?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Except for, it does for Facebook, but the caveat for Facebook, and this is a Facebook limitation, Sunny can only post to your Facebook business page. It will not post on your behalf to your Facebook groups, in the other Facebook groups, or your personal feed. You'll have to copy that over and do it yourself. You can take it, but copy it.
Yeah, Facebook a long time ago banned third parties to be from being able to post into groups. So that's a limitation on that one.
Yeah, and LinkedIn, I think you can now kind of get around some of LinkedIn's limitations. However, if LinkedIn finds out you're doing it, and they'll figure out a way to find it out, they can just kick you off LinkedIn. So I don't recommend do that, even if there are tools that say they'll do it. So
cool. And then Nancy's put here, in California there has been an option. There has to be an option not to be recorded, as both parties must approve being recorded. And I know some states have that and some don't. Yeah.
Excellent question. So that's been a non-feature of the AI glasses, no matter whether they're done by Meta or other companies. I think Meta's glasses have a little blinking light, but that's not good enough. So just a note. Anyway, have an awesome week. Look forward to seeing you next week. And as always, if you have questions or anything, reply to emails or post them, and I will try to get them answered. So have a great weekend, everyone. Bye for now.